Hello, my name is Justin Dinger, and I am the teen librarian at the Cloquet Public Library. Now, you may be wondering, why is the teen librarian talking to me about students ages 8 to 10? And I'll tell you, the answer is easy. It's usually at about this age when students start exploring the library on their own. They still come with mom and dad, or maybe grandma and grandpa, but they take ownership and responsibility for the materials that they are checking out. They're not satisfied just grabbing whatever book mom hands to them, whatever picture book mom hands to them, but they want to read what they want to read. So they usually leave the children's section and run into me in the teen section. Also, from my personal experience as a parent of a child aged 8 to 10, this is really when they start wanting to pick out their own clothing, not only in terms of daily wearing, but they want to pick them out shopping as well. Cognitively, kids this age are super curious about the inner workings of things. Instead of just wanting a book about cars, they want a book about the engine that drives that car. They want to know what's inside a computer and how it works. Speaking of curiosity, kids these age also want to know a lot of what ifs. I have a particular group of boys that I still call the what ifs. They're 13 years old now, but when I met them, they were 10. They tagged along with a group of older boys, I think siblings, mostly they were siblings of the younger kids. And they showed up to my first and to this date most disastrous teen advisory board meeting that we've ever had. It was my first meeting as the teen librarian with the kids, and I wanted to develop some rules that everybody could follow at the library. I needed rules that were okay for the teens and also worked for my staff, who oftentimes sort of dismissed these teens. To the credit of the 10-year-olds, they were definitely the most active part of the group, but every rule I came up with, I saw a raised hand and a what if. So, for instance, rule number 1, no food at the computers. What if you bring me a snack while I'm at the computer? I don't know that that's going to happen, but what if? Rule number 2, no running or horseplay in the library. Mr. Dinger, what if the library's on fire? I mean, as the rules went on, the what-ifs got more ridiculous, but at least they were engaged. Something I've had to work on, especially with this group, the 8 to 10 group, is my use of sarcasm. When my teens come into the library and they need some help with something, I'll say, no problem. That'll be $5. They know it's a joke. They don't worry about paying me $5, and we get the job done. When I said the same thing to an 8 to 10-year-old, I immediately saw the terror in their eyes. They didn't know it was a joke, and I immediately knew that I had screwed up. Now I know that at this age, kids just need a simple yes or no, and then we go off and get some help. Socially and emotionally, I have noticed that kids are really beginning to form a core group of friends at this age. I have noticed that groups of kids often coordinate with their parents to show up at the library at the same time. And sometimes this is for a program, sometimes it's just to hang out, but it's great to know that the kids are sort of running these play dates. The first year that I was a teen librarian at Cloquet, I ran a space camp. It was a NASA-funded camp that used a NASA curriculum, and they had NASA recommended an age of 12 to 18 for this camp. Well, I had several parents call me with 10-year-olds who were super interested in space, and it wouldn't be any problem, and I didn't know any better because I had not taken the ages and stages class yet, and I said, sure, let's do it, bring your 10-year-old. Full week was spent in small groups designing a spacecraft that could safely land on a rocky body, and I immediately realized that these 10-year-olds just didn't have what it took socially and emotionally to work together to get this job done. One young man wanted to make his own craft, and he wasn't satisfied until I let him do that, so I spun him off into his own group, and he worked on his own craft. I was completely unaware of the emotional development that still needed to happen before these younger students were able to work in a group on a project of this magnitude. Their love of all things space, driven by their newly found natural curiosity, wasn't enough to carry them through the curriculum designed for older kids. The next year, knowing I would have younger kids interested in camp, I took the focus off of the main project and put it more on the curiosity and exploration aspect. I left plenty of times for questions and discussion, and I put more of a focus on the actual presentation of their final product, and that allowed them to take a sense of pride in what they had accomplished at Space Camp. All right, well, thanks for spending a few minutes with me today. I hope I have offered a glimpse of what it means to work with students ages 8 to 10.